first of all, Ted is my friend. We have a lot of similarities in our background, and we agree on a lot of issues. You look at our vote record. I mean, we're both in the top tier, most conservative members of the Senate and of all of Congress. I do have a difference of opinion with Ted on two issues. One, his tax plan has something called a VAT, a value-added tax, which you find throughout Europe. And value-added tax is dangerous. I don't care what you set the rate at today, it's dangerous long-term. A value-added tax is something they love in Europe, but here's how a value-added tax works. A value-added tax is that you're a business. You will now have to pay a tax on the income of the business, the money you make. So when you sell something, you pay a tax on the profits. But you also are going to have to start paying a tax on what you pay your employees. So where are companies, people in this room are in business. If you have a new cost, you have to get the money from somewhere to pay the new cost. Where are they going to get the new cost? Where are they going to get the money to pay the tax on what they're now paying their employees? And the answer is they're going to get it by either cutting employee pay or raising prices or both. So this is why Reagan hated the VAT tax. Because Reagan said this is a way of blindfolding people. Because you no longer see the tax. You're no longer going to see it in your pay stub. Right? You make $36,000 a year minus your payroll tax. You're not going to see any of that. But it's still in there. It's still being paid. It's just no longer part of your monthly statement or your bi-weekly paycheck. It's just that now the employer is going to pay you less. And they're going to have to charge more for prices. Who does this really hurt? This really hurts seniors. Because seniors aren't earning, they're retired now. So they're not earning an income. So they're not getting the benefit of a zero income tax. But their prices are now higher because of the VAT tax. And my problem with it is you can set it really low. He has it at 16%. But what happens if in 10 or 12 years America makes a mistake again and elects another Barack Obama and another Nancy Pelosi takes charge and another Harry Reid takes charge? Now the liberals are going to say, wow, not only do we have an income tax we can raise, we also have this new VAT tax we can raise. And people won't complain as much because they won't notice it. It'll be higher prices, it'll be lower paid, but they won't be writing a check. And Reagan hated the VAT tax. And that's why they love it in Europe. And I'm not going to have that when I'm president. We're just not going to do a VAT tax. And the other is national security. And, Ted and I have a real big difference of opinion on that. The only budget that Ted has ever voted for while he's been in the Senate is Rand Paul's budget. And it's a budget that brags about how it cuts defense spending. And we're already not spending enough. We are already going to wind up with the smallest Air Force, the smallest Navy in 100 years, the smallest Army. And you want to cut even more? I can't support that. He called Edward Snowden a great public servant. I think Edward Snowden's a traitor. And if I'm president and we get him, he's going to trial. So these are policy differences. It doesn't make anyone a bad person. We're all going to be on the same team soon enough. So it's just differences. And they're important. I'm really, and I think in general, here's the one thing I can tell you. On my very first day in office, more than any other Republican running, I'm prepared to keep this country safe. Because over the last 5 years that I've been there, no one has shown better judgment or better understanding on our national security issues than I have. And at the end of the day, Commander-in-Chief is the single most important thing a president does. The economy is run by the private sector. But our national security, that's what a president's supposed to be in charge of. And when I'm president, I will keep this country safe.